When the lion refused the crown. There are moments in life that don't look like turning points, just a quiet feeling, a heaviness you can't name, a whisper in your mind that says something has to change or I will. And that feeling, that's life speaking to you, my friend, softly, patiently, waiting to be heard. And sometimes it brings you here to the Lion's Tavern, which is currently perched above the cliffs of the Isle of Avalon, or as the locals sometimes call it, the Isle of Apples. This is an island that is famous for its kings, and tonight I will share a story with you about kings and crowns. They say this place appears when a soul is ready to listen, not to others, not to the world, but to themselves. And here I am, standing behind an oak counter, polished smooth by weather, waiting, not for answers, but for honest questions. Tonight, traveler, we speak of burdens, courage, and the quiet art of healing. Act 1. The crown that never fit. I was told early, you have the heart of a king. They meant it as an honor. I heard it as a debt I never asked for. Every lesson, every look, every whispered prophecy said the same thing. You belong to destiny, not yourself. Now there's a kind of loneliness in being admired for what you have not chosen yet. So I left. No protest, no ceremony, just a quiet exit. A boy stepping away from a crown he never wanted to wear. Weeks later, I found a door, wooden, standing alone in the fog. I opened it and stepped into the Lion's Tavern. The old keeper was there, silver-haired, steady-eyed, polishing a dented cup. He looked at me, not at my face, not at my clothes, but into me. Ah, you've been carrying a crown you never got to choose, he said. And I understood. This place, this tavern, is not for kings. It is for those who need to be seen. Act 2. The keeper who walked before me. The old keeper never healed anyone. He never gave answers. But he did listen. The tavern moved across worlds, not to be found, but to find those ready to hear themselves. I asked him once, how do you understand these burdens so well? He smiled. He had been called once to a throne, and he said, power is not the heaviest thing to carry. Expectation is. He didn't leave because he feared responsibility. He left because he understood that a crown is for nations, but his heart was meant for souls. So I stayed. Not to lead, not to rule, just to witness, just to be present. And slowly, quietly, I learned that healing does not come from fixing, but from allowing. Act 3. The day I finally set it down. Years passed. I became someone who could hold space for others. I did not wear a crown. I did not command armies. I kept lanterns lit, chairs warm, and hearts welcome. One evening, a captain from my old court appeared, silver crest, duty etched into every line of his face. You were meant to return, he said. Your throne waited, your people waited. I smiled. They weren't waiting for me. They were waiting for what I could become, and I became something else. He looked at the tavern, the warmth, the quiet, and whispered, "This is not a throne." "No," I said softly, "it is a home." He asked, "Then what have you become?" I thought about it. I breathed, and then I pointed at the portrait on the wall of the old keeper. I became what he was, not a healer, not a king, just someone who lets people rest. Silence, not empty, full, and for the first time in years I felt complete. My friend, there is strength in healing. There is courage in showing your wounds, but sometimes there is greater courage in finally letting them close. Healing is not earned, it is allowed. Allow yourself to soften. Allow yourself to remember without drowning. Allow yourself to feel without breaking. That is heroism. That is transformation. The old keeper once told me, anyone can swing a sword, but a true hero learns when to finally put the sword down. You, my friend, do not need to be fearless to be brave. You do not need to be unscarred to be whole. You do not need to be ready to begin healing, to begin healing. Perhaps the greatest hero is not the one who never breaks, but the one who chooses to mend slowly, gently, deliberately. So when your journey grows heavy again, if your armor feels too much to carry, you may find a lantern glowing in the mist, a doorway open, a place where scars are not shameful, silence is not empty, and your story is already welcome here at the Lion's Tavern. But until then, the lanterns will glow for you again. May you walk kindly with your past, breathe softly with your present, and welcome your future like an old, old friend. Because the door is always here whenever you are.